Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're gonna have a look at the Pelikan M400. Pelikan has been making 400 series pens since 1950. The first one was only called Pelikan 400 and this is a direct successor to that line. With some changes, the pen has been in production for over 70 years, which means that the design is likely pretty good. This particular pen was made between 2003 and 2010 based on the design of the top finial. More recent models do have a gold on gold design of the top finial. Underneath the finial there is a gold plated clip attached, and I think this is one of the best designed clips on any fountain pen. It's very functional and quite pretty. The black plastic cap is straight and at the end it has two golden rings with a marking Pelikan, Germany. This older M400 still used the semi-transparent celluloid material on the body in the classic Pelikan green color. I think it's definitely a shame that Pelikan stopped making these semi-transparent barrels. I think they looked really great, and it's also a lot more practical to see the ink level in a piston-filled fountain pen. Moving to the bottom, we see additional two gold-plated rings, which are a part of the piston knob that is working quite smoothly after I greased the piston seal. The cap uncaps in 3/4 of a turn, and that gives us access to the beautiful bicolor 14K gold nib. This particular one is a double broad with a very nice stub-like character to it. The feed is made out of plastic and the entire nib unit can be easily removed, and then you can clean the pen or grease the piston seal with a Q-tip. It's generally not advised to take apart the nib unit itself any further, and by no means you can disassemble the piston mechanism itself. So this is as much as you can disassemble the pen, which is fine, but I probably would not recommend using a shimmer ink because you just can't pull out the feed itself. On the section there is another gold plated ring, and the section is rather short at 1.4 centimeters until you start touching the threads. At the narrowest point it's 9 millimeters wide and then tapers up to 9.8 millimeters. That's on the narrower side, but still usable. After greasing the piston seal, the piston now works flawlessly. There is almost no resistance to it, and the overall ink capacity is 1.2 milliliters, which isn't that much more than a big converter. Size-wise, it's definitely on the smaller side. 12.5 centimeters capped, 12.1 centimeters uncapped, shorter than a Leonardo Momento Zero and much shorter than a Lamy Safari. Luckily, it posts really well, super deeply and securely, and thanks to the design of the piston knob, it's impossible to turn it when you are capping or uncapping the pen. Even posted, it's just 14.5 centimeters long. Another reason why I prefer to use the pen posted is its weight. Unposted, it only weighs 11 grams, and the cup then adds additional 5 grams on top. Okay, writing sample time. So the pen I'm using is the Pelikan M400, and this is a double broad nib, and the pen is made between 2003 and 2010. The ink is diamine marley. The nib does have a lot of line variation between vertical and horizontal strokes. It has just a tiny bit of feedback and it works generally pretty flawlessly. I bought the pen used and it had some issue with the nib. The tines were too tight, so I had to fix that. But at least I got a pen at a very good price. Let's check for hard starts. There were some issues on the upstrokes, but I did not really notice it during normal writing. Let's check for skipping. Again, the ink flow is not the best if you write super fast, as with other broad and italic nibs. When it comes to wetness, this is a very wet nib. That's after I tuned it. Horizontal and vertical line variation, there is quite a bit of it. The vertical strokes are 0.8 millimeters, and I'm not sure about the horizontal ones. It's just too thin. I don't have a way to measure that. Some of the older Pelikan nibs were known to be quite flexible, so let's check this one. It's definitely a bit soft and it offers some sort of line variation, but since this is basically a stub nib, there is not really any proper reason to use it as a flex nib. As for reverse, it does not work at all. So maybe a nibmeister could fix that, but I don't feel a need to do that. In any case, after I fixed the nib, it's now working very well, and I really love the stub character. It's a shame that Pelikan no longer makes these double broad nibs with a stub character. Occasionally you can see italic broad nibs for modern Pelikan pens, even steel ones. That's something that I would like to try out in the future. Unfortunately, I can't really say how these older Pelikan M400s perform in general, but based on other reviews and posts on forums, I would say that people were generally more lucky than I was with their nibs. But again, after I fixed mine, I'm really super happy about it. As for my general overall thoughts on this pen, I think it's almost flawless. The only thing that I don't like is the size of the pen. I just wish it was a little bit bigger, especially wider, and everything else is really positive. The build quality is exceptional. The cap screws on very securely. It posts very well. The piston mechanism works smoothly overall tolerances for this pen are quite tight. The design is very classy with a very functional clip. I owned a very old Pelikan 400, the very first generation one, made in the early 50s, and that pen felt a little bit fragile for carrying around with me everywhere. But for this one, I would not really worry about it even in a simple pen pouch. The body material is also very fun. I like that I can see the ink level through this semi-translucent green celluloid. The only issue is that I don't know if I would buy a current production Pelikan M400. The nibs are now different. They have a more round tipping, while generally on these older Pelikans you see a slightly squared off tipping, and we also lost the translucency of the barrel. So if you are interested in Pelikan pens, maybe try to hunt down something like this one. That's all from me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.